I'm Captain Henry Brandreth of Her Majesty's Royal Engineers, and I am superintendent to carry on work around the globe, especially in Her Majesty's dominions. Now, I, like my grandfather before me, I got the lucky straw. I got the posting to Bermuda. Now, you British colonists will know that Her Majesty's Royal Navy lost all their bases in America when the Treaty of Paris was signed in 783. The Royal Navy had nowhere to go, from Halifax in Nova Scotia to the islands of the Caribbean. Nowhere to repair, nowhere to refit, nowhere to reprovision. And it was important that we continued to dominate the sea lanes to North America before those Americans did. Now, fortunately, we already own Bermuda, and we had done actually since 1609, on a fateful day.
Anyway, he was reading an article by a man called Charles Darwin. Now, Charles Darwin claims that hillsides like this, they're made out of sea creatures and tiny shells. Do you honestly believe that, Captain Brandreth?
Well, yes, it's very true, very true. You see, what a lot of people don't know, Bermuda sits on top of an extinct volcano. And millions and millions and millions of years ago, it lay below the ice during the Ice Age. Of course, underwater sea creatures died, and along with the algae and the crystallization of the salt from the ocean, this limestone was formed. That is limestone. It's about 300 or 400 feet thick. It sits on top of the volcanic rock, and it's that we quarry, that we chip, that we blast, that we cut, that we saw, that we hew. WD simply means War Department, and the number is the category number, so we can go to any particular part of Her Majesty's property and deal with any eventuality. We don't have slaves anymore. We did away with that in the 1830s, but they got the pickings from the convicts, just to show how resourceful we British are. Now, we're going to go into the victualling yard. You will know that a victualling yard is where we slaughter animals, where we store foods, where we salt fish, salt meat, where we prepare food for hundreds of people. It stinks terrible. No worse than HMS Terror that you just spent weeks on. But I'm sure you'll want to see what the victory yard is all about. Now, we might bump into a little old lady, Lizzie Tucker. I call her Busy Lizzie Tucker. A bit of a nuisance, really. She doesn't like me for some reason, doesn't like the British. I think it's because when we first started excavating in 1809, I've told you about how nice this area was. She was a little girl, and of course she's a little old lady now. I can understand why her life has been messed about a little bit, but actually I think she drinks a bit too much. So if we bump into her, sort of humour her, let's go.
You know, they come up here and they build, and they make a mess. And then they build some more, and they make more of a mess. And it just goes on and on and on. When I was a child, there wasn't even a horse ferry up here, you know?
They will bend and not break. These, of course, are hoops, and these hoops are used to keep the staves in place, and then you build a barrel. At one time, they had somebody special making these, and he was called the hooper. Some wise soul decided they didn't need somebody different making the hoop from who's making the barrel, so the poor cooper became the cooper and the hooper.
Resourcefulness.
Now, barrels are not difficult to make. It takes a little time, but they're not difficult to make. A barrel has two heads.
What about the bottom?
Barrel has two heads.
Oh, two heads are better than one, I suppose. Be careful how you speak to me.
You put the first head down, and you make sure that the grooves of the staves fit right into the head. And then you put on your first hoop, and you keep building it up until you finally come to the top one. You put it there, put the head in. Make sure that the staves are all in all the way around. Put on your final hoop, and then, of course, you've got the barrel. Now, 1834. Slavery officially, and I use that word very carefully, officially came to an end. But let me tell you about the English. They decided that the slave owners should be compensated for losing their slaves. But what about the slaves? They got nothing.
Basic economics.
Now, 1834, that was a memorable year, of course. then again, last year, when the last of those convicts left, do you know that they were kept in leg irons for the entire length of their sentences? 8, 10, 12 years maybe. And they had arrows painted on their sleeves. So the British painted arrows on all their property. So the convicts were property, just like the slaves were.